Hello there, my name is Iago, I'm an international student, a 16 years old boy, and I can't speak gibberish. Today, we will be discussing the topics of multilingualism and identity, more specifically, how multilingualism affects identity. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, multilingualism is the ability to use more than two languages for communication. In more general terms, it is the ability to speak multiple languages in any degree of competence. Now, for the definition of identity, let's take a quote from Bauman, Sigmund. Identity is a situated outcome of rhetorical and interpretive process in which interactants make situationally motivated selections from socially constituted repertoires of identificational and affiliational resources and craft these semiotic resources into identity claims for presentation to others. Okay, that was huge. Shall we translate that to our humble language? Identity is our outer image by which we represent our thoughts and interests to give meaning to ourselves. You know, like the song. The wonderful thing about tigers is tigers are wonderful things. Their tops are made of rubber, their bottoms are made of springs. Their bouncy clumps, The most wonderful thing about tigers are the only one. Multilingualism affects positively and negatively identity. Positively by changing the decision making, and negatively by limiting communication. Researchers from the University of Chicago made an experiment with multilingual people in both their mother language and a foreign language that they know. The participants were submitted to a series of bets they had to decide whether to accept or not. This could result in an emotional decision, stop taking the bet due to the fear of losing the money, or a rational one, keep taking the bet because it was logically profitable. When making the question in their mother language, nearly 80% of the participants made the emotional decision. However, when making the question in their foreign language, the difference of percentage between the emotional decision and the rational one were almost none. As Klein read and summarized it, the researchers believe a second language provides a useful cognitive distance from the automatic process, promoting analytical thought and reducing unthinking emotional reaction. What is most amazing is that I have experienced that. Once, I and my classmates were having a fun quiz that had as purpose revising for an upcoming summative. We were communicating in English, which is my second language, being Portuguese my mother language. Notice that I was not 100% fluent in English. Then, a friend asked me to pass him the answer because he didn't know it. I know, it may sound peaky, but I thought for a while about giving him or not, and I didn't. For obvious learning reasons and for the better. Reflecting upon this experience now, I may say that if this scenario happened in Portuguese, I most probably would automatically give him the answer. It wouldn't help him revise, I know, but look. First, because he was my friend. Thus, I was emotionally connected with him. Second, because I would feel more confident to do so in Portuguese. In the end, my emotional identity was hidden due to the English language, but my rational identity was exalted. According to Bekrieva-Grannis, Dessislava, Georgieva, I apologize for my pronunciation, one social linguistic argument is that multilinguals develop competence in the varieties they speak, often only to the extent to which they need this language and for the context in which each variety is used. The researcher made a case study with a woman called Malaika, who speaks 5 languages, and she saw this argument fit on Malaika's case. For example, Malaika speaks Swahili. She associates it with home and intimacy, and she addresses it the personal meaning of an intimate language. This is because she speaks Swahili with her family and African friends. She doesn't consider herself fluent. However, she developed the competence enough to express her intimacies. Another case that I will bring up is Queen Silvia of Sweden. She has a strong connection with Brazil and Germany due to her background's history. In a recent interview, she was asked the meaning of these countries to her heart.
Vilken flagga står drottningens hjärta närmast egentligen? Tysklands eller Brasiliens?
Den brasilianska mentalitet är mig väldigt nära. Så det skulle jag säga, det finns i mitt hjärta. Den tyska är också i mitt hjärta, men det är mer den intellektuella, den rationella delen.
Furthermore, in the interview, she explained that her family would speak in German when solving a family problem, but when they wanted to express feelings, they would speak in Portuguese. Thus, it is possible to see that they develop competence to communicate in these two languages according to the context they use then, at least to the degree of my personal experiences with this competence argument. Multilingualism affected negatively my identity. After studying English, I spent 3 years only using it to informally communicate. As I was in Brazil, I wasn't required to write arguments, develop complex ideas, or think in English. This wasn't something that I could perceive until I moved to Sweden and I started attending to an English-based school. I felt quite challenging difficulties as I faced it myself in the context of writing essays, explaining orally my ideas, or even understanding jokes. My identity changed when I was speaking English. I felt shyer and more fearful, mainly because I couldn't express myself as I did in Portuguese. My English competence was limiting my communication. As can be seen with the information presented, multilingualism affects identity both positively and negatively. It can limit communication, but it can increase the rationale of decision-making process. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.